Okay, we have the Sherman Oaks Film Festival 2020 Q&A for the amazing film Into Light. I had the pleasure of speaking to a few of you earlier, and I think I read my notes for the Q&A. It was just really simple, absolutely wonderful, should be a feature, should be up for Oscars. Because this is just the kind of film that you watch. You know, in a film, when you're programming a film festival, you see hundreds of short films, hundreds and hundreds. And then you see something like Into Light, and I know what your team was able to accomplish is amazing, because it's like watching an A-list Hollywood movie with an unlimited budget where they just, threw money at every problem and made this amazing period piece about amazing subject. And I just keep repeating the word amazing. And I learned the other day that wasn't the case, but I will hand it off to you so you can talk about how you accomplished this rare feat. And Amy Walker, who wrote the script and is one of the many producers and a lead actress, she will introduce the team in order that everyone joined.
Thank you so much, Jeff. It's a pleasure and an honor to be here. And thank you. I'm so glad it looks like $1 million. It was not. But I'll let everybody share about their part of it. It was a script that I wrote, and then the first person, apart from my fiance, who we'll introduce in a moment, but the first person I officially brought onto the project with request was Jessica Graham, who's an incredible director and actress and author. I'll let you say a few words.
Hi, I'm Jessica Graham. Thank you so much, Amy, and thanks for having us, Jeff, at the festival. Yeah, I remember I had just pulled into a parking spot and was, checking my email because, the phone, it's just constantly there and you're constantly checking. I try not to, but I did. I pulled into a parking spot, checked my inbox, and there was an email from Amy. And as soon as I got the gist of what the email was, my whole body just lit up and I was filled with joy. And I was like, whatever this is, it's a yes. And then I went on to learn more about Inez and her story and gave a big, huge, enthusiastic yes. And so honored to be part of this, and working with Amy and the rest of the team is definitely a highlight of not just of, I don't want to say of 2020, because I know 2020 has been a wild year. It's been a highlight of my creative life. So really, really happy to be part of this.
So mutual. Thank you. And the next person that I pitched the project to is Martine, is an incredible producer. She's a large chunk of why it looks like so much more money than it was, because she's a magician of, we had this purpose of telling a story that hasn't really been told and that's not in our history books, of this woman who literally died so that people could have the right to vote. And so Martine is a bringing stories to light, incredible producer. I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you, Amy. Thank you, Jeff, for having us and for all your compliments. I met Amy at the end of last year, and she told me about Inez. She told me about this film she wanted to do and gave me the script. And I just thought it was brilliant. I just, I usually tend to fall in love with people and just say yes, whatever the project. If I fall in love with the people I'm in, and I did fall in love with Amy and her vision, and did everything I could. My role as the producer or lead producer is to give a voice to people that have talent. And I found three actually, if I put Sherry in it, I think, as the creative team, the DP and Jessica, brilliant director, Amy, brilliant actress and writer. And I'm just at their service, really, to help bring the vision to life, and at the best cost possible, which is my strength. So it was a pleasure working with everybody. I think we had a lot of fun, which is very important. And I think the result is incredible, incredible. I'm very proud of this project, very, very proud. Thank you for recognizing all the hard work from everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Martine. And from the get-go, spurring me on to even write this project that I've been rolling around in my head for years is my fiance, Nipun Nair, who is another, like, half of the budget would have been more. He was half of the budget because he was willing to work for a pittance, hundreds and hundreds of hours doing the editing, the sound design, the sound repair. If you've ever shot anything ever, you know what I'm talking about. The music score, the rotoscoping, making our 33 beloved extras look like 1,000 and sound like 1,000, and everything post production except for the color. Nipun Nair, I love you. I'm introducing you. If you'd like to say.
Sorry. Thank you. That was, wait, I'm going to figure out how to keep this. There we go. Okay, sorry. Yeah, that was probably the best introduction I will ever have. Thank you. And thank you, Jeff, for, all your wonderful words. It really means a lot after having put in so much time into this project to have it be truly seen and recognized. And this project's been, for me, it's been a game changer. There's only, in my life now, there's only pre this project and there's post it, Before it, I was always, I was mainly a composer and sound designer, but I've been editing for a while, but I hadn't yet edited a film, like, a proper biopic or a narrative. And so when Amy was, when she first told me even about the project, I was like, oh my God, if this story hasn't been told, you're the one to tell it. Just do it. Go for it. Don't worry about the money. Just start. And she was just like, okay. And, and my gosh, seeing her from the moment that fire got lit, she was just unstoppable. And what happened was she just ended up gravitating all these people towards her who were just the brightest, most incredible souls you'll ever have the pleasure to work with. And they just brought their A game to the project. And for me, it was more a game of like, oh my gosh, look at the quality and level of people who are on this project. I better show up and deliver, better than I've ever delivered. So that was my attempt. And this is what kind of came out of it. So yeah, thank you.
And you did, Nipun. You did an amazing job. It was a pleasure working, and it's such a pleasure working with people that are so nice and respectful and with such an harmony, and we don't live too far also. So it was like, okay, I'll pick up the drive. No, I'll go drive it. And no, it was a lot of that. It was it was a pleasure working with you, Nipun. You're amazing.
Oh, thank you. You too, Martine.
I mean, I'm not surprised that a film this good came from a collective community of positive people like this. But I'm pretending I'm the 75 people in the audience asking questions. So I actually want to direct a question to Jessica, which is that I'm sure if we had the pleasure of showing this in the theater, people will be telling you how beautifully directed this is. And I wanted to ask if you had any films that were an inspiration or something because this is such a beautifully directed period piece and biopic. I was just wondering what the inspirations were that you pulled from.
Thanks, Jeff, and thank you for all the kind feedback. It's really, really appreciated. So I'm a fairly new director. This is my third project, and interestingly, all three of my projects have been a collaboration with Amy. The first one actually just released today online. It's called Listen, and it's about the heartbreak and horror of domestic violence. And Amy was the lead, and that's when we first connected. And then she asked me to come on for a pilot for YouTube's Women in Comedy initiative called Group Ease, and then contacted me about this. So I've been saying we're creative soulmates. And so honestly, the number one inspiration is Amy. Amy is a really, really special human being, and what she brings into the world is unlike anything I've ever seen before. And that's, absolutely as a brilliant actress and writer and producer and just artist, but it's also just as a human. And so our connection and what is brought out in me as a result of interacting with Amy is a big part of all of this. It's the energy of that. As far as other kinds of inspiration, it's I'm also a meditation teacher. For me, it's like this physical sort of visual experience when I drop into something creative, whether that's an acting project or directing project. I know in particular there's one scene where Inez is being brought through the hallway after collapsing on stage, and like that scene in particular, like I remember saying to Nipun and just saying like it's like there's this blossoming, blooming illness and toxicity, and that's what I like. I want to show the blooming of this illness, of this death. And so that's kind of the way that I think about things. Like it comes up in this like feeling and this visual, and then I try my best to describe it. And I'm so blessed because Amy and Nipun and the rest of our team was able to take that and translate it into what you see. Also, Sherry Koch, our DP, is a huge part of how this film is what it is, because she's an incredibly collaborative and creative DP and a director herself. So I was able to sit and work with her, and we were able to get just really, really clear on what the storytelling was with each moment. And so, I mean, that's a huge part of where we landed as well, having Sherry there.
Wonderful. And I'm glad you got to mention the DP, because I can't believe I didn't mention the word cinematography when I was talking about praise. I mean, I said how great it looks, but yeah, I mean, the cinematography is outstanding on this film.
And she was more than that too, because she really did the research as to the color palette and what would the lighting be for the time. And so Martine loves to tell the story about the pickle pats. Do you want to talk about the pickle pats?
Pickle pats. The pickle pats are so, I'm given the list of what we need for the film. I'm like, not this, can't afford, sorry, we can't. And then there's this thing called pickle pat. I don't even know what it is. I'm like, no. And then she comes back and she said, no, that we need. And I'm like, what is that? And those are the big lights that are behind Inez on the stage. That's 3 round like lights. And I'm like, yeah, I'm sure you can find something that looks like it or whatever, because it was kind of $600 each or something. It was like very, very expensive. And anyway, she said, no, I have it. And my job is to please, right? My job is to, yes, respect the vision, not destroy it, but at the right cost. And in this case, we went out to the woman who was renting the pickle pats, and I spoke with her and explained to her what the project was about. And I found that a lot of people were very receptive to what we were trying to do and helped us when I was explaining, and not just calling, hey, I need to rent pickle packs, how much it is. It's, hey, we're doing this project about Inez, and she's, explaining who she was, explaining the importance of the vote, and explaining all this. And this woman actually was a new American like me. Like I've been here 20 years. I'm a US citizen now. So she was a new citizen, and she really appreciated that she was able to vote at the last elections and was looking forward to voting this year. And so she was completely on the same page as us, and really gave them to us for free. and that was amazing. So I went to pick up the pickle pats, and I learned something interesting. And I have to say that she was incredible. So a lot of little things like that happened during the shoot, and that was magic. And Sherry has an Emmy. Let's say that.
Yeah, she's a master. She's phenomenal.
She's the biggest of us all. Like she's an accomplished, incredible DP. Incredible.
I just want to piggyback on with Martine and just say, you know, Martine is magical. Like what she was able to do with this project. And, you know, that goes for everyone involved. You know, we had an amazing, we had Elle, I always forget how to pronounce her last name. Ms. Elle, yeah, who's a beautiful person and an amazing wardrobe designer. We had a beautiful cast along with Amy. We had Jessica Martin and Travis Dixon, who just brought so much to the project. And, you know, along with everyone from PAs to grip to just the whole team, everybody was just 110% in at a much lower percentage of their normal rate. So it was pretty amazing.
In many cases free. And the other person I need to bring into this who is just hugely influential and helpful is Martha Wheelock. And she's one of the 4 historians who I reached out to in the beginning, and who I met on the day that I found out about Inez from another historian, Robert Cooney Jr., who's amazing, and he'll be on our screening tomorrow. Of course, I won't be tomorrow. Anyway, Martha, it was Martha's nonprofit organization, Wild West Women, that helped us get so many things donated, because then it was a tax deduction. So for those of you out there wanting to make a film with a purpose, with a story, look and see what nonprofit organizations are already doing that work, and see if you can partner with them to see, because film can really raise awareness about what's already happening. It's a really powerful tool. And then, you know, then that's added value for the organization, and then having that ability for people to donate. That's how we fundraised, was we asked for donations. So then it's a tax deduction for people, even in kind, which was a match made in heaven. And Martha was on stage with me on this side, so it was fun to get her in there because she's the real deal.
And she taught us about suffrage and about the time, and we had her explain to all the extras what we were doing. It was just not, you know, show up to do something. The goal of this film is to pass a message. So we started during the shoot passing that message with Martha explaining who Inez was and what her mission was and what she did during her short lifetime. She died a couple of weeks after the film in 1916.
Not Martha.
Not now.
Yes.
1916, when she was barely 30 years old.
Yeah, well, sadly, we're almost running out of time. With what Martine just said, I wanted to pay you an extra compliment. After the first Biden-Trump debate, our 12-year-old daughter came in and kind of said, yeah, I don't think I'd even bother voting. And so I showed her your film. And she totally got it. So besides the fact that I believe Amy and Martine let me know when I said your film should be a feature, they told me, actually, it's going to be a series about suffragettes, which I think is a wonderful, wonderful thing, because I don't think, I went to American schools, so I only learned the word suffragette from a Paul McCartney song, you know? So if this film could, you know, I love that you worked as a nonprofit to help things work out. I wish it could be, you know, used in schools.
That's what we're actually working on that. So I'm working on we got a distribution deal for the film. The film's going to be out, and we are also working on a separate distribution just for education. It's quite difficult to find a distributor who does education for narratives. There's a lot of docs, plenty of distributor for docs who do that. Narrative is more difficult. but I think I'm going to partner. I can't announce it yet because it's not signed and inked, but we found a really great organization. I think that's going to help us put this film in schools, libraries, museums, everywhere. So we hope to do like a tour for the whole next year, the next couple of years, because like I was talking to this guy, and what he was saying is, this film doesn't have an expiration date because in 4 years we're voting again. So it's going on every 4 years, right? And plus all the voting in between the major elections, right? So it's important to vote for the president, but it's important to vote for your city because they're the one, ruining or not ruining your city, ruling your cities, and you need to have a voice in that. And so basically, it's a work of every day that doesn't have an end. So that's why we're going to do that.
And we live in a country where election day is not even a holiday. So enfranchisement's so important. We have about a minute left if anyone wants to mention, or if anyone wants to get out of here besides me just telling you again how great the film is and what a joy it is to watch, and how you can see everyone who contributed to this put their heart into it, which I guess is natural with a film. I mean, how could you read this script and think, well, I'll just show up and kind of be I don't think anyone would be half-assed with a subject like this. Someone giving their life for a cause this important.
Exactly.
Sweetie, you're muted.
Yeah, sorry. I think I just want to say it was, for me, there was a really amazing moment in the beginning, like walking into the first production meeting and seeing all these incredibly powerful women at the helm of this project who are just so talented, and it just spoke for the project. And I consider myself a feminist, but it was interesting to notice in that moment that, oh my God, this isn't a very common occurrence, that I haven't actually been in a room with so many incredibly capable, powerful women at the helm of a project. And it was just magical seeing what they were bringing with so much. It was just galvanized, gravity of incredible magic and quality of people to the project that I've never seen before. So I think that was a real indicator to me of the entire mood and tone of the project and the quality of people, and what spoke to the essence of what this film was about.
Yeah, and I would like to salute our other producers who did an incredible job. Alex Brown, that is his last name, Jennifer Broffer, and Rachel Thundat. I hope I pronounced it right. And everybody worked so hard for this. So I just want to salute them also, and everybody else who worked on this film.
Thank you to the extras, to the donors, to all the supporters.
All right, well, please imagine in your heads a full theater of human beings clapping right now.
Yay! You don't have the fake sound. You don't have the
fake sound. No, you know what? Yeah, I should
do that. You should add that in post.
I should.
Nipun can do it.
That would be, well, hopefully COVID will be gone and there will never be another festival. Although we've always done Q&As like this for people based in Europe and Australia. We don't expect them to fly to Sherman Oaks, but sure. All right, well, I have to run. I think the next Q&A started 1 minute ago, so I have to get going. But thank you so much for your film.
Thank you, Jeff.
Thanks a lot, Jeff.
Thank you.
It's absolutely a pleasure.
Thank you.
Festival.
I look forward to talking to you all in the future.
Great.